just look at your stash of dies and go, I don't even remember what I've got. So instead of having drawers stuffed full to the brim and going, oh, I don't even know where to begin, this stuff can take up more time trying to work out what you've got than actually crafting. So instead of doing all this, I now have, and this is only a third of it, a little filing system for my die cuts. I'll show you how to make these now and go through a proper run through later. So if, like me, you're a bit of a cardstock hoarder and starting to look at your craft space as if this is becoming a bit of a fire hazard, I have a cardstock stash buster, scrap card buster, and the ability to go through all of the die cuts that you've maybe never used. You've bought them liking them with the idea that you know, you're going to do something with that, and then you put it to one side and it gets buried and you have no idea what it is. The books are a great way of helping you organise your dies, see what you've got, and also stop the overwhelm. Again, if you're like me and you've got stacks and stacks of things that you want to be doing, making, you've got cardstock here, you've got dies and stamps there, you've got scraps just in pockets and just everywhere, it can get a little bit overwhelming. So I am deciding to craft my craft space so that I'm being crafty as well as doing something that's going to make me happier in the long run. So all of the paper pads I'm using in today's tutorial are all from The Works and all absolutely beautiful papers, and I just sometimes I look at these and look at all my scrap pieces. I can't throw anything away but that's fine, I will craft with these another time. But sometimes you look at these papers and you go, oh my gosh, I don't even want to use them, they're so beautiful. I've got to get over that. I'll make a plain one, I'll make a few others just to get the juices flowing for everybody, but yeah, these and they're only £4 and they're really lovely designs, thick card, and you want the thick card for these die cut books specifically so that it's got a bit of oomph behind it, so some sturdiness behind it, so that your dies stay nice and secure inside the books. So for this one you are going to want a pad of cardstock, fancy, plain, whatever you like. Some might say that the ones I've made are a bit busy, so if you want to use plain card, feel free. So you're going to need 7 sheets for the book itself, so one for the outside cover, which you're going to cut in half so you can make 2 covers. Then you're going to need 6 more sheets for the pages inside, that's only for the one book. Then you're going to need 7 more sheets for the flaps or the inserts, and that's going to make space for 42 die cuts in each book. Then you want a cutter and a scorer. You don't need these if you are confident with scissors, just use a pair of scissors. Then you're going to want a pad of self-adhesive magnetic sheets. These are flexible, peel off the back for this adhesive, and you can cut them to size that you want. And some double-sided tape, but glue will suffice. And you're going to choose a selection of papers we are going to choose, I've already pre-chose my front cover. So it's really pretty, I like this one. So the scoreboard. So we are gonna cut the paper in half at 6. And then decide which is going to be the outside and inside. I think that's going to be the outside. So then we are going to score 5.5. We are going to score again 6.5. And that is now our inch spine. And we are going to fold, and we are going to just press that down. And again on the other inch line. And there we have, very plain and simple, outside. Okay, so for booklets, pages, we want an 11-inch an inch, 11 inches, and we want to score 5.5. And again, we're going to do 5 3/4, because we don't want it overlapping completely or hanging out the edge of the book. So 5 3/4. Over, and so that's that one, and there's that one. And because this is double-sided, you could decide, actually I want that side for one of my pages. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that with all the card, and you want about 4 sheets, and you want 3 signatures. Okay, so now you have your signatures done. So we've got 4 pieces of card in each booklet, which makes 16 spaces for dies. So 16 times 3. There you go. Now we're going to bring in the cover, and what we're going to do is we're going to sew that. I find if you sew it in like if you were making a junk journal, it keeps everything together nicely, and I'll show you how I do that now. Thinking, because it's so florally and outside, a nice blue or a pink. Okay, so it doesn't have to be thread, it could be ribbon, it could be cord, but I've chosen this nice blue from my cross-stitching stash. So what we're going to do is we are going to find the middle of each one. Sorry for my squeaky chair. And we're going to line it up so it's the first one will be closest. I don't know whether you can see that. So the first signature, move it that way. First signature. So here's the spine. The first signature will be closest to this fold. We'll have the centre one obviously in the centre, and then the last one closest to the other fold. Don't want it on the fold. If I show you on this one, so you can see I've got them close to the spine, and then the centre, and then close to the spine again. That was my very first one, trial one, and I'd only given it a 1/2 inch spine, which makes it all nice and compact, but it's not really book-like. But I've got to say, it's my favourite. I love it. It's like your first baby, isn't it? Not saying anything about the second one, but this one, I can get it out. There we go. So this is my Christmas one, and that's the inch spine, which I've covered up so you don't actually have to see the sewing. So if you're worried that your sewing's going to look awful, you have ways around that. So I will, yeah, just get going. So find the centre of this, and we are going to make 3 holes. So I use my tweezers for this because they are super sharp. These are designed for, you know, intricate beadwork and things, but this works just as well for me. So make a hole in there like that. We're going to find roughly the centre and make a hole. Watch your fingers, point it away from you if you can. Try and make sure it goes on the fold of each layer. And again, I'm roughly using this as a measuring tool. And through carefully those ones. Okay, so then again, just so I got them in the right place. Not quite on the fold, like that. And just pierce the hole there as well. Trust me, you want the holes there. Makes your life a whole lot easier. Okay, so now to thread the string. This is where technique for threading needles. This with a large hole, and I still can't get them all through without. Oh, there we go. Famous last words. So I got this technique from Tasha from Treasure Books. Whether I do it justice or not, I don't know. I've kind of found my own style for it. I think I will have to look that up and link it in. So, and I'll go through this again slowly with you in the next one. But just to show you how easy it is once you've made those holes to go through. That one is, oh, this one. Nice and tight through the middle there. And I'm gonna, this is where I think my technique gets a bit different to everybody else's. I kind of do a whole knot system on this side, and I then poke it back through the hole, through the middle, and then I kind of knot this. Oh, my baby's dreaming. Okay, I don't know what happened there. It suddenly got loose. But it's not a problem. Okay, so then closest pair of scissors to hand is my big chunky ones, which I Actually, I love them. I use them for literally everything. I do have some very nice scissors somewhere. I've got about 5 million pairs of scissors somewhere. Okay, so again, just tying that in, and that is your first signature in there and secure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through it a bit slower this one. So again, measuring with my tweezers, getting it through this on the fold of each page. I'm going to do it slightly different and do it end to end first. There. And then centre. And just watch your fingers as it comes through the other side. Line it up with the outside card and pierce a hole through there, like this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then again, thread the needle. And my technique, like I say, might be completely different from everyone else's. So, we start with the middle hole, and it goes straight through. So, through the centre hole first and out the back. Then you're going to bring it in the top one, that, and bring it so it's tight. Then you're going to put it through and put it back through the middle hole, like so. And you're going to bring this one through those. So now I've got both sides attached, and again back through that centre hole. And again, like I said, mine might be different to everybody else's, but you know, you have your own style and what makes you feel comfortable. And I feel like it kind of adds a bit more sturdiness for me if I add a knot at the back here, which is just a loop, and sew it through that loop, and then bring it back through that hole in the centre. And again, loop it, pull it through, pull it tight, and then cut. And there we go. Another one in. And then we just have the final one to do, which I will fast forward for you. So now you have completed the book. So it's all been bound and you're ready to start making. So now you're going to need your pad of paper. So let's get choosing. And now you've chosen your papers, you're going to bring in your cutter and just make a note if it's directional. You're going to want to cut it in half so that when we cut the pages it will be this way up. I think that makes sense. So you're going to cut. Try and do this on camera. Cut. That's 6 inches because it's 12 by 12. And then you are going to cut 4, so you want photo size basically, 4 by 6. And then on the end of the 4 by 6 you are going to score or fold 1/2 inch, and you're just going to fold that down. We are going to run the boning tool over it, and then we are going to bring in, where did I put it? I always do this. It was right in front of me, of course. Double-sided tape. We're gonna just cut that and leave that on there for now, and continue with the rest. Now, because this is double-sided card, mix it up a bit and have the score line on the other side so that you have different pages throughout your book. Done. So now with your book, you are just going to stick in where it fits in. You can have it the same if you wanted, or you can just start mixing it up. So I'm going to sticking this inside. Now, just to say, in the pages where you've sewn it in or bound it, we're not going to put pages on those, and I will show you why later. So just continue, and every time you come to an intersection where you've sewn, leave it and move on to the next page. And there you have it. You have just made your die cut book. Now I'm going to show you what you can do with them. Here are my die cut books, again random. I used cardstock that I'm unlikely to use in card craft or whatever else, but also, you know, it's just a bit prettier, isn't it? So let me show you. But like I said, if you want to make yours plain, go ahead, absolutely up to you. This is your baby, and it is a real labour of love. So I designed a little bit on the front there. I've written nature die cutters on here. I've got a little cord tie, and then here is what the die cut looks like, and there's your die stuck in with your magnetic strip. So you can look through all the pages and go, right, I want to use that one, and you'd know what you have. Now, the reason I had said to not put these flippy bits, whatever you call that, in the sewed bit, because you can hide the sewed bit with some envelopes. Now, I tried to use card for this one, and it's just not flexible enough, so I don't recommend using card to make older things. What do you call these? Accordion, that's it, accordion pockets. But the idea is that I print the clear stamps on there, and then we can keep the stamps in there. However, again, it ended up being quite bulky, so again, probably not. But I have got an idea coming up for clear stamps, so you'll have to join me for that one. Yep, so all of the die cuts are just on show, and that's what I need. So this one is another idea for clear stamps with corresponding die cuts. Ignore the glue on that side, the ripped glue. So in here I've just got a little tuck pocket, the corresponding dies. Now I just used laminator sheets to stick them in and protect them, and with that card in the middle it just keeps them all together and away from each other, if that makes sense. So again, I was going to try and stick the stamps under there, but just it wouldn't work because they kept falling down. So I made a little tuck pocket for that. Again, the world is your oyster with these die cut folders, books, whatever you want to call them. For flimsy ones with like really thin bits, I always recommend one on the top, one on the bottom. You could even put one there if you wanted. Again, a pack of 10 of these made 3 books for me. Maybe like this one's got a whole thick strip to it, so it just doesn't fall. And here's the paper accordion pockets, much more flexible, much nicer, and for example you can just pop your your clear stamps in there and away you go. So again, this one has coordinating die cuts to them, so there's the die cuts and here are the stamps. Again, just a laminator sheet. Again, I'll make a video for that if you want to see how I made these. So that's the nature one, and then I go with themes, and there's my Christmas one here, which I just love. It's just so pretty. And again, I used old Christmas card to make pockets. There's I've got old, again, I made the accordion envelope holder and put some tape there just to add a bit more sturdiness to them, and just the different types of tape you can get. Again, at the back, another pocket, and it holds the ribbon attachment as well. I've got an idea for a bigger one because some die cuts aren't going to fit in here, especially if you make boxes or framed cards, that kind of thing. Some of them are just not, they're too big to fit on these. And I've got going to make a mini one for sentiments, so come and join me for those if you'd like to. But just to say, so some of them I've literally just stuck the one thing on there just so you know what it is and it's not overcomplicated. However, some of them I've made up as if that's what the die makes. But this one, for example, where is it? This is one of my ideas for a card front. So I made the card front and stuck it on, so you can do whatever you want to do. This is your baby and you can make it completely yours, however you want to make it. And then I've got this one, with random pieces, which I'm going to stick to the front because I like to kind of incorporate the dies from the inside onto the front somehow. I'll put like a plain circle or something. I don't know yet, but I'll do it. But this one is full of just random, although this is like all aqua kind of things, it's not all water related. These are all my random die cuts. So I've got umbrellas and cats and photo frames and fences, window setups. This is a one altogether, but I couldn't fit it all under one sheet, so therefore had to spread it across. The window with the flowers, the cat silhouette, more windows. See, just completely random, but I wasn't going to have a book just for windows. But you could, I mean, that's completely up to you. If it just makes your life easier to look through your stash, look through pieces, you know, you can see straight away what it is rather than having to rifle through all those dies in the drawers. And so there you go, you can work through your stash. It's quite unhealthy, my stash of scrap card. Again, why I said I had fears of it becoming fire hazard. So this is just one drawer that I have, and but this is, think you use your dies to use up all your scraps, especially the small ones, and this is how easy it is to cut the magnetic strips. It's literally just like paper, and you can cut it to the size you need for your die. You can cut them really small, you can cut them really thin, whatever you need. But I was planning on using one per page, but then it turned out to be quite an expensive way of doing it. So use them frugally. And so there you have it. There's 4 of many die cut books I've made, and join me for part 2, where I'm going to make a mini one for sentiments, and I will be making a bigger one for the bigger dies. I'll also show you, film me decorating the front of the books, and a way of storing them in a pretty way, because, you know, I have to have everything pretty. I might even do a whole die cut book with you, just to show you my process and my thought process, because I think of something new for each one. So the pockets on the front, and the envelopes in the centre, and then the stamps and things like that. So yes, again, there'll be more videos coming. So thank you for joining me, and if you'd like to join me for part 2, I'll see you soon.